Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of TCG Talk, back today with another video. And in today's video, we're going to be going over a couple of the top 8 deck lists from this past weekend. We had various ProQuest Plus across the world. I just want to highlight a couple key heroes, a couple key people that performed really well on both Ninja and Assassin. And yeah, we'll get right into it. If you're new to the channel, welcome. Thank you so much for stopping by. Hopefully you enjoy your stay. If you're a long-standing supporter, thank you so much as always. We'll get right into it. Also, feel free to check out the Discord down below, all that good stuff. So I want to pull this up really fast. So we have 3 lists here. This first list is from Jake Warburton. I hope I'm saying that correctly. Over in Europe, they had a ProQuest Plus over 50 people that ended up popping off, and Jake ended up taking it on Zen to give Zen his first ever Living Legend points, pretty much on the same day as Matthew McKinnis, who also was at DreamHack Dallas, who won on Zen as well. That I do not have the list for, but that event was only 13 people, but it was super stacked. Brody Spurlock, Tran, Ellie Bird, DM Armada, like super stacked field. But this is Jake's list, and Jake won his ProQuest, like I said, ProQuest Plus, over 50 people. And it's a very unique list. So the big thing with this list, and I'm not going to go card by card because they're not my list. I don't know the reason they did every single inclusion, but I want to highlight them, and I'll link Jake's Twitter down below as well. But it's a really cool list because it doesn't include Bonds of Ancestry, and since Pudding's show match in the Card Guys Blue Pitch stream, a lot of people have been on Bonds of Ancestry and in the We Make Best video, so most people were thinking like that's probably the best version of Zen, and this version doesn't do that at all. As you can see, this version literally is just make Tigers, buff Tigers, make Tigers, buff Tigers, and then use Art of War very effectively. So looking at the equipment, I'm not going to go card by card again. This is not mainly a deck profile. The big inclusions are they're running Kadachi and Arcane Lantern in order to tech for Kano. They gave Kano a lot of respect, it seems. They're on AB3 and Spell Void 1, which is pretty nuts. But they ended up, doing that because in order to run this Lantern, you have to be running a one-handed weapon. So they did have Kadachi in the side for that, which is pretty good. They're also running Pouncing Paws. I'm not sure what the reason for this. Maybe someone down in the description below can let me know. Jake, if you end up watching this, let me know what the main point of Pouncing Paws was. But they do have that and Stride Reprisal as well. And then you look at the list itself, like I said, no Bonds of Ancestry line. They're running some of the key staples like Chase the Tail, an aspect of Tiger Body, and then the 100 Wins, Mauling Key, Tiger Swipe, some really good stuff. But as you can see, they're also running a lot of stuff that just buffs Tigers. What they're trying to do, it seems, with this list is, make Tigers, buff Tigers, and then use like a Tiger in hand that they just made to like have a good Art of War turn, maybe use Stride Reprisal, all that kind of stuff, and just overwhelm your opponent with all this crazy ping damage and really go as wide as humanly possible. You have cards like Biting Breeze, which threaten a Tiger on hit, and even at the blue, it's really good to transcend into. No one ever wants to block this because if you give a whole card, you're essentially stopping one more point of damage, but no one really wants to do that. So that's really good. Bittering Thorns is able to buff a Tiger, but also buff any attack, right? If it hits, Growl buffs Tigers, right? They have a lot of buff abilities in here. Untamed, unconditionally will buff a Tiger. And it seems like to me they're just trying to go as wide as possible. I'm assuming in their sideboard they had 3 Command and Conquers, probably 3 Sink Belows, and 3 Immovables. That's probably what their sideboard was. And as you can see, the inclusion of Salt the Wound. They're really trying to make use of like that long chain, right? And the big thing about this list is it doesn't run Pouncing Links. So they're basically saying, okay, I'm gonna draw Salt the Wound, I'm gonna probably Arsenal it if I don't have a good turn for it, and I'm just gonna wait until I make a bunch of chain links and end on a really good Salt the Wound turn. So very unique list, really cool stuff. They also have Blue Predatory Streak in here just to kind of get, it's a good Transcend card because you play this into Transcend and you make a Tiger in your bench, a Tiger in your hand. So pretty good there. Very unique list in the sense of they're going against like the early thoughts of what Zen should be. And they performed really well. So congrats to Jake. I'll put their stuff down below. Then we had Daniel. This was in the Battle Hardened, or not Battle Hardened. It was like a Battle Hardened. It was over 100 people in the ProQuest Plus Montreal. So this was the day after the limited Battle Hardened that they had, but they had like 108 players or something like that. I have it right here. Yeah, 108 players. This was pretty cool list for new. This list ended up getting top 4, I believe. I always have trouble remembering this. Yeah, top 4. And the equipment suite is pretty standard. Some of the cool inclusions they had in here, they have red Bonds of Attraction along with blue and red Art of Desire Body. So a little bit more on the red attacks. Most early new lists that I've seen, the only red attacks they're really running are Command and Conquer, Leave No Witnesses, and you might see a like a couple other little small inclusions, but they're really running like these attacks that they value a lot with Our Desire Body and Bonds of Attraction. They're running the 1-of Death Touch, which I'm assuming is just to have a better codex target, because this deck does struggle with having a good codex target. Usually it's just Leave No Witnesses, but there's so much armor block in the game right now, sometimes that doesn't even matter. They are in 5 hiss, which is pretty standard. We're seeing anything from 3 to 6 hiss with red and blues. Red's always included, and then you'll see the blues from time to time. And the rest of this is pretty standard. They do have Fates and Sinks, which I'm assuming were in the sideboard. Or actually, no, they're in the main board, because this is a 59-card main board. Yeah, this is actually showing the main board. Okay, so 2 Fates in the main, 3 Sinks, only 2 Venomous Bites. They have 1 Sigil, which is interesting. This might be the old like assassin trick of like arsenaling this, and then someone CNCs you, and you can just gain life. Really good for that. Only 3 levels of Enlightenment. I wonder if this is just because of card ability to only find 2 of them before the event. It might be that, or they might be only on 2. Only running 2 seems interesting just because the card's so good, but it might be a personal choice. It might be just them having access to those cards. Another cool unique card in here is Intimate Inductment. I really enjoy this one. I personally like it at yellow or red, but blue makes complete sense. 3 block blue that can buff and also bring a card onto the chain potentially. Really, really good for that. And then running Pick to Pieces, obviously some Enigma tech in here, but everything else is pretty standard. The key kind of unique inclusions, I think, per like what you're seeing starting out the gate with these lists is this set of reds is not always in there. Death Touch is a pretty unique inclusion. Sigil is a pretty unique inclusion for new specifically. And then finally, blue inductment isn't always common, but really, really cool stuff. The sideboard, you can see a lot of Enigma hate and some warrior. They have Looking for Scrap, Siren's Call, Pick to Pieces, Weakest Link. All of these are really good into Enigma, even Frailty Trap. One of them, Movable, is really interesting. Spreading Plague, again, more Enigma hate, but also good in other stuff. But a lot of the sideboard seems like it was dedicated to Enigma, which makes sense. It's New's worst matchup. But you see they have a lot of cards in the maybe board. But definitely go check out Daniel's list. Congrats to them for the top 4. As we're looking at this event, I wanted to show it really fast before we talk about this Zen list from Thomas. This was the event, and it's a little bit cut off. Professional YouTuber here. I'm literally going to fix it as mid video, but we're okay with it. I just want to make sure y'all can see it. But this is the breakdown for the 108 players. New is the most represented deck, which is very interesting. I thought New was going to be up there, like top 3. Did not expect her to be the most represented. Honestly, I expected more Zen than New, so that was very surprising. KO still being up there makes complete sense. 7 Kano. Kano is a very interesting deck right now. I see a lot of people like either off or on the hero. It's like no in between. Like some people are saying that the hero shouldn't be played. It's not very good right now. And some people are saying like people aren't realizing how good it is, so on and so forth. 7 Prism honestly makes sense. Prism's very good right now. So is Levia, and it kind of goes down from there. Azalea's a little bit low in my opinion. I thought Azalea would be a little bit higher. She's really, really good right now. But we do have 3 Riptide, which I love seeing. There was like a 4-1 or 4-2 Riptide, so pretty good showing there. Enigma, Bolton, all the good stuff. Only 1 Uziri, which sucks to see, but that's how it is. Only 2 Vincent as well. There was a Vincent that almost made top 8. Literally, I think bubbled out. So really good showing by that hero. I know a lot of people are really high on her. But this is how the top 8 ended up going out. We had 2 Katsus, which people were not expecting. Everybody was expecting Zen, but I'm telling you, Katsu has equal legs into this meta. Still a very powerful deck that can do really powerful things. But 2 Katsus, 2 News, an Enigma, a Prism, a Kano, and a Victor. So the Kano got really good matchup into Victor, won that. Thomas won his matchup against a New, against David Lee, and then Thomas ended up beating the Kano. And then Noah ended up going all the way to the final. Noah, extremely good player, or Dark Codius on Twitter. If you want to follow them, definitely go do that. But Noah ended up winning the limited event at the Battleharden the day before. So super strong showing by Noah. Noah ended up taking it in the final. I won't go super in depth on that match. The only thing was Noah played really well, really did really good around Restless Coalescence and stuff like that. And the Katsu Thomas, who's a friend of the channel, community member, did really, really well. Had some really unfortunate draws. I mean, just drawing like E-Strike and a double Ancestral Empowerment, all that stuff. So it made it a little bit difficult for Thomas to really gain tempo. And once Noah got several Coalescences out, it just made it really hard for Thomas to clear the board while drawing those clunky hands. I think Thomas played it as well as he could. There wasn't much he could do. But the list, pretty bread and butter. I do love the inclusion of one Mask of Momentum. Gotta love it. Love seeing that out there. Mask of Pouncing Links. I'd be interested. I'll talk to Thomas at some point and see how he felt about Momentum into this new meta, or if he's just going to go straight Links from now on. The list is pretty standard. We have the 600 wins, really trying to make it most use of Ancestral Harmony. 6 bonds, 7 bonds, or 6 bonds, 6 Ascendants, really good. Double Strike, I think, is fantastic in this meta with Enigma and with other decks that can have ward or prevention effects. Like, this is a way to really force their hand either to clear the board, or maybe against other decks that want to block you more efficiently. This card can really help you get an easy Katsu trigger. Enlightened Strike's another one. I think this one is so I'm on Enlightened Strike personally, but this is kind of the more contested spot now with kind of how Katsu is in this format, because you can't really stumble, and Enlightened Strike's a very good mid-range target, but sometimes it makes your hand clunky. It's such a love-hate card right now in Katsu, in my opinion, but still really solid. Everything else is pretty bread and butter, pretty standard. 3 Winds of Eternity makes complete sense, being on 600 wins. And then finally, their sideboard, you have the Tenacity for Pouncing Links, Sink Belows, Command and Conquers, Warmonger's Diplomacy for Azalea. They're on AB3 with Tunic. So really standard list, really good. Love seeing Thomas play so well. Thomas, if you're watching this, congrats for getting to the final. I know the final didn't go the way you wanted, but it happens. Really solid list, but it was really cool seeing Ninja everywhere. We had 2 Ninja ProQuest Plus winners and 1 get to the final. We had 2 Katsus in the top 8 at the Montreal event, which basically was like a battle hardened. 108 players. It's a ProQuest Plus, yes, but it's basically a battle hardened level in terms of players, right? You don't normally have 108 player ProQuests. So really, congrats to them. But I'll link all the deck lists down below. Just wanted to shout out all these people. Shout out to Jake. Shout out to Daniel. Shout out to Thomas. Amazing play. Hopefully we can see more lists do well like this in the future. But yeah, if you like this type of content, please leave a like, comment, or subscribe. If not me, it's totally fine. Go to another creator, leave a like, comment, subscribe on their stuff so we can get more people seeing this game. And I'll see y'all next time on TCG Talk. Thank y'all so much.